you are, no matter where you are, a satellite club is really easy, and they're calling them companion clubs now because they're really a companion of the club that sponsors them. Okay? All you need are 8 interested people. Now, how did I do that during a pandemic? We already have 2 clubs in my hometown, and I knew there were people out there that cared about our local town and they care about making a difference in the world. So I called them up and I said, I want to invite you to a small meeting, and I'm going to go through what Rotary is all about, what we do in Washington. And if it's of interest to you, great. If not, you'll walk away with some new friends and you'll learn a little bit more about Rotary than you knew before. It's a very low threatening way to do that. It's very simple. For those people that did not, of course, this was during the pandemic. If they didn't want to meet in person, I said, that's not a problem. I'll have a Zoom call. What's a good time for you? And all I did was walk through the history of Rotary, how it started, how it's grown. I talked about all the stuff they do around the world. Then I talked about my local club and the other local club in town, the evening club, the noon club. I wanted to start a breakfast club, but I said, you know what? If breakfast isn't for you, we got a great noon club, we got a great evening club. Take your pick. But I went through all that. I went through the dues. And since I was a lunch club, I asked them, how many of you eat lunch? Guess what? Everybody raised their hand. If you take the lunch cost out of the cost of membership, the dues are next to nothing. It's like $1 a day. And so I asked, is it worth $1 a day to you to make a difference in your community? And then I listed all the charities our club gives to. Most of us as individuals cannot make that kind of impact. I use the leverage of Rotary to increase the impact of what few dollars I have. And I can make a difference here in Washington, and I can make a difference around the world. Thank you, Rotary. And that's basically it. And I said, if you like what you hear, let me know and we will plug you in. It's that simple. We got 8 or 9 people. And then I challenged them. I said, let's do it again. This time you're going to invite some people. I want each of you to invite 1 or 2. And it took a couple months for them to round them up, but we did. And we got our 22 or 23 and formed our own club. So that's really an easy way to do it. It may not be the Rotary way. Rotary doesn't really want you to go out and do a dog and pony show. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. And the nice thing about Rotary is there are no Rotary police out there. You do what works. So that's satellite or companion clubs. What other information? This is another good one that I passed out to these 8 members of the satellite club or companion club. I said, okay, who do you know? Well, there's a wonderful sheet in zone 33 and 34. It's called Who Do You Know? A Club Assembly Membership Exercise. It's a PDF, and it's really an eye-opener. And it gets you thinking, okay, it's not just my neighbor. Who's your attorney? Who's your CPA? Who's your insurance agent? Who's your banker? I mean, it gets you thinking and said, oh, yeah, I think this guy would be a good person to have in Rotary. That's really a simple exercise. They have another one called 10 Intentional Membership Strategies. And the key is you actually have to have a strategy. You can't just say, I want to grow membership and not have a plan. If you've ever tried to build a house without a blueprint, it's going to turn out like nothing like you had originally envisioned. You need a plan. Let me go through a few other things. 5 things I wish Rotarians knew and believed about membership. We are a membership organization and our product is service. And I want you to think about that. As we grow membership, what happens? Dues increase, more money funnels into the foundation, and we're able to do more around the world. It's that simple. There are 6 failed membership strategies they talk about that Rotary clubs seem to love. Adding a satellite club, how to do it. Club president personal ask, corporate and family membership examples. Discover Rotary script. Now, I think that's a real important one because each and every club, at least, maybe even once a month, but certainly once a quarter, ought to have what's called a Discover Rotary Day, where you invite some potential members to the club, which you should be doing anyway, but certainly on one of these days. And you have members stand up and talk about what Rotary means to them. Every single one of you probably has a Rotary moment where it really stuck you. It really got you. I had mine, but you've got your own. And each member of your club has some. Maybe a project that you all are involved in, something that really hit home. That's what a Rotary Discover Rotary Day is all about. And they've got a sample from a club in South Carolina. A Grow Rotary demographic tool. That is new this year. And it probably does not suit smaller clubs too well. It's really best for larger communities, but you can go on demographically and identify where clubs are and who's around the clubs based on their income level. And if you want to look through that and let me know, and I'll get you the link. Stan and I, past District Governor Stan Keeler and I have fooled around with it a little bit. And it's good. It's not going to help me a whole lot here in Washington. If I was in Raleigh or Wilmington, maybe Greenville, it would probably help. Hybrid Rotary Meetings Technology Guide. I think we were talking about that earlier. There's a whole guide in there on how to do that. New member scavenger hunt. Prospective Rotarian phone invitation script. Now, I had my own script when I called people. They've got a few ideas for you if you don't feel comfortable doing that. I lived on the telephone in my professional capacity, so it was no big deal to me. The recipe for a successful membership event. Well, I've been through this thing 2 or 3 times now. I know the ropes, but if any of y'all want to do one, let me know. I'd be happy to help. There is a wealth of information in our district. There's a wealth of experience in our district. Past District Governor Stan Keeler, who's been our district membership chair the last 3 years, he is very busy up in the Outer Banks. He's rocking it. And what he does to prospective members before he even takes them to a club meeting, he meets with them personally and sits down and runs through what Rotary is, tries to find out a little bit more about the individual and what they're looking for. That way he can point them in the right direction to the right club and also find out if they're serious. There's sample Rotary Club brochures. There's a Rotary Club health check, which some of our clubs probably need. There's just so many resources and a bunch of planning guides. So please, if you take anything from today's meeting, know to Google Zone 33 and 34. Go to district membership and you will find a wealth of resources. Next, I want you to write down my phone number. It is area code 252-940-8769. If you need any help, do not hesitate to call. Now, I learned something while I was district governor. I was getting a bunch of calls, many of which were spam. So I put on a spam blocker on my phone. If you're not in my directory, guess what? I'm not going to get your message. So take my phone number and text me. I'll then put your phone number in my system and make sure you can get through in the future. But if you need anything, I am so happy to help. I will drive down and have a ball. I have a good time talking to prospective members because it's really an easy story. Rotary sells itself to the people that have Rotary in their heart. It really does. All you have to do is get in front of people and ask. Get in front of the right people and ask. How many of you, by a show of hands, have a local newspaper? Okay, I got a few of you. I used to go through the newspaper and just circle articles on different people and what they were doing around town. That's, well, that person's interested in our city. This person did that. That's great. Guess what? They're on my hit list. I'm going to call them and see if they have an interest in Rotary. So that's basically it. That's all I'm going to go through right now. What kind of things would you all like to hear or get from me? Don't be bashful. You can unmute yourself and ask away.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Sorry for being late. I'm still at work till 7 o'clock tonight, so I apologize for being late.
No problem.
But yeah, I've just the question was about the newspaper that Fred Womble. That's what he uses most of the time.
And he has been extremely successful. He's got a reputation around the district. He goes after it.
Luckily, yep.
What else? Come on, folks. I know Jim over in Farmville, they're having a tough time getting out there and grabbing new members. So, you know, if you need me to come over there, Jim, and run around town for a day or so and get people fired up about Rotary, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, well, that's something, like I said, if there's a way to basically pull new members out of the sky, that's what we need. But I guess they're out there somewhere. But
well, let me tell you, when I first moved to Washington, I knew nobody. Mm-hmm. I really didn't. My wife grew up here, but I didn't know anybody. First thing I did was get a Chamber of Commerce directory. And then
we have you know, one of our members is, I think, the head of the Chamber of Commerce. But every time I email members and ask them for to bring a friend, bring a neighbor, and I'm met with dead silence. So I know you had emailed everybody after one of these meetings a couple months ago and complained about nobody being there. And I was just thinking to myself, welcome to my world. Is that this? You know, I don't know, and I'm a Catholic and I take responsibility. So I don't want, you know, I keep thinking this is attribute this to poor leadership. I've been president nine times. So it seems like every membership has gone down ever since I've joined the club. So,
well, Jim, I'm going to make it my personal challenge to help you grow Farmville. Okay. So I'm going to be in touch with you. I will get a hold of the Chamber of Commerce directory.
Okay.
One of the things I'd like to do, we'll plan just basically a short meeting to identify, to show people or tell people about Rotary, what they do.
Okay.
I'll do the exact same thing with you that I did here. Okay. And I'm going to show you how we can grow Farmville.
Okay.
And it only takes one or two people with the Rotary heart to really get rolling. And if you're asking your members, your current members, to bring somebody and they don't,
we need different members.
You need different members. Yeah, Stan, you got something to say?
Yeah, Steve had a question. He was talking, but he was muted.
Okay, Steve, how are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. Hey, you asked what would be helpful. One thing that would be helpful, I know that you're out there and that you're answering a lot of questions, and you must hear some of the same questions almost every time you talk. And I bet you've got some pretty good answers. I wonder if you have any sort of a written down document of the most frequently asked questions that you get about Rotary. I mean, starting with what's Rotary? But I'd love to know how you answer those questions, because you have had considerable success in intriguing people into visiting.
Well, Steve, I think, yeah, I get some questions on what is Rotary, but most of those questions are asked during my PowerPoint, or provided during my PowerPoint presentation. And if I sent you my PowerPoint presentation, you would probably laugh because I put it together myself. It's not very professional, but it gets the information across that I wanted to get across. And I think people realize when they attend one of these things, from my presentation anyway, I'm not pounding people over the head to join. I'm
Right.
giving them information so they can make up their own minds on whether it's right for them. And if it is, those are the kind of people I want.
Sure.
So, and you all have had great success, I think, in Greenville Morning. Mary Vincent's been quite good.
Yeah.
So, anything I can do, be happy to help. But common questions, the biggest question I get are concerns from Rotarians that say, well, gee, they don't, these people don't want to pay dues. And that's why I tackled the dues question in my presentation. Now, mine was a lunch club, and most of the dues, and I broke the dues down: district dues, RI dues, lunch, and quite honestly, lunch was the biggest doggone portion of that. So I attacked it
It
right up
certainly
front.
is.
Yeah, so I attacked it right up front. How many of you already eat lunch? So I'm not asking you to do anything different than you already do. Just come have lunch with us. You're going to pay for it anyway, whether you have it with you or have it by yourself or have it with a group. Now, let me show you what the rest of it is. And it comes down to like $1 a day, maybe at the most $2, depending on where your club is and what your dues are. And then you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? That's a cup of coffee a day. Is it worth it to make a difference in your community? It is to me. And it might not be for somebody else. That's okay. I found people that really worry about the dues probably wouldn't make a good Rotarian, quite honestly. Other questions? Don't be shy. Yes,
Spencer Clark Moore from the Wilson Club. 2 questions. We're initiating or planning to start a Rotary Club at the local college. Is that going to be added into our membership, or how does that work?
No, it's not. Rotary doesn't allow that yet. They're a separate entity, but you get a lot of credit for starting a Rotary Club. Let me tell you. We have a real good one in the district up in Murfreesboro.
Yes, I've spoken to them. And,
Super, because they've got like 100 kids in that thing, and then there's a good one in Greenville.
Yeah, she sent me a bunch of documents I haven't looked at yet, but we had initial meetings. The COVID, we're off to a slow start, a lot of due diligence, but we're going to have it up and running hopefully by the first semester of this year.
Super.
During the first semester. Second question.
Stan, one of the things we haven't done very well, and I think maybe we're doing it now, but is trying to involve these Rotary, especially if they're college age and in the district conferences, to so they can feel the excitement in those events.
Yeah, we're inviting some to our district conference and giving them a discounted rate this year. Now, we can't invite a whole bunch of them and pay for it, but we're going to give quite a few a discount so they can at least get a flair. It's not going to be a big district conference, as you can imagine, during this kind of environment, but we'll have some good folks there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you this district conference, we've got some great speakers. Most of the clubs that I visited heard about my own little pet project. For me, each district governor comes up with one they feel pretty strongly about. And mine was water for Ghana. And the fella in charge of that global grant, Walter Hughes, is going to be there at the district conference talking about it. And you all feel free to just Google Walter Hughes Rotary. He's from Rocky Mount, Virginia. He's been going to Ghana for over 10 years. He's known as the water man, but he was recognized at the White House probably 7 or 8 years ago as the Volunteer of the Year of the United States. That's not just for Rotary, that's everybody. This guy is amazing. And he has done a phenomenal job. So he's going to be talking about that project. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I told you earlier, one of the speakers I had this past year was Ron Pierce, who sort of changed things up in his club. He's coming to talk in my membership section or session at the district conference. So, bump heads with people like that. You get some good ideas to take home to your club. So what else do you have?
Spencer, I have one more question.
Yes.
We're having a new member induction at our meeting on Monday. And I'm the new president. We have 3 members. Actually, one of them will be carried over from prior Rotary year, but 2 have been recruited and will be new members for this Rotary current year.
So
I ordered, I was not aware of it, but the new member kits, I went on the website and ordered those from, I think it's Hampton. And they called me today and said they would not be here by Friday. I ordered them on Monday. Based on the website, they said they'd be here 2 days. I believe it was UPS, but she called this afternoon and said, is there anybody, any club locally that I can pick up 3 new member kits from that I will, when I get mine, I will swap them back?
Clark, this is Christy with Rocky Mount. I believe I have 3 at the office.
Okay.
So I'll try my best to get in touch with you tomorrow
Yeah.
once I check that.
Because I'm free tomorrow. I won't be Friday, but if you can let me know in the morning, I'll swing by there. Thank you, Christy.
I sure will. Absolutely.
thank you, Christy. Yeah.
Yep, no problem.
Christy's the one that told me about the new member kits, so thank you.
Help
Spencer,
with-
can I have a question for you, Spencer? I'm sorry, just a quick one about, you said about your special project with Ghana.
yeah.
I was talking to Lewis, or emailed Lewis. We're not 100% sure, and I can't remember. Where do we send that check for the next one? Because we've got his ready and we're not sure, where does that go to?
Well, if you would send it to me, if it's for Walter Hughes, I'll make sure he gets it, because what you have to do is put the global grant number on it and then send it on there from there. I can send it directly to him, or,
It's
you've
for
got-
his special project. So yeah, it's made out to Rotary International. Is that correct?
Rotary
That's correct,
Foundation.
but you have to put an annotation to global grant number.
Yeah, it's made out to the Rotary Foundation, not Rotary International.
Thank you, Stan.
And then we'll get credit for points for that too, correct?
Yes, you will. You sure will.
Yeah.
And if you want to have some fun, I don't know if you go to the district conference, but that's only in another month. Hell, you can personally give it to them.
I'd love to. I'm going to be in Arlington for my dad's service.
Okay.
Give it to me. I'm going. I'll give it to him.
Okay. Thanks, Joy.
Thank you, Joy.
I'll do that.
In each of your areas, you also have assistant governors, and I'm asking the assistant governors to sort of act as membership advocates. Most of them have the experience. They're fairly comfortable talking about Rotary, so they can help leverage some of my time. But please don't hesitate to reach out.
Spencer, who is Tim Britton still our assistant governor, or is somebody replaced him? I thought he was stepping. I thought
He was, but he's staying on for one more year, I
Okay,
believe.
you roped him in one more. Okay.
Yeah, so he's going to be the Jim Coleman of AGs, I guess, because Jim
Okay.
was president for 8 or 9 years.
Well, thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
Spencer, who's our district governor who covers the Wilson clubs?
Let's see.
Assistant district.
Let's see. I don't have that list in front of me, but I can get it.
It was Dale Turner, but he rolled off.
He rolled off. I don't have it, but I'll get it for you.
All right, thank you.
Let me write that down. Clark needs AG.
Spencer, can I say something else?
Yes.
Yeah. As Spencer mentioned, and several of you know, I just rolled off 3 years as membership chair for the district and snookered Spencer into doing it for 3 more years, mainly because he went out there and started a whole new club. So obviously he knows what he's doing. So we wanted his expertise, and he's got a lot of great ideas. But I did stay on for the innovative club advocate. So if you guys, any of you are thinking about new companion clubs, Rotaract clubs, or know of a group of people that want to get together, let me know. Or if you're interested in working on that in your area, or more information, get hold of me. I would love to work with you on that and give you some more information. It's similar to building membership in churches. It's actually, if you want more members, it's easier to do it by starting a new club, like starting a new church. It's pretty darn easy, and the companion/satellite club is one of the easiest ways to do it. Spencer took the fast track and zoom satellite to full independent club in just a few months. I think it was only 3 months, to be exact.
3 or 4. Yeah.
But you can start a alternate meeting time club. My club is First Flight Rotary Club. We're a noon club. We went to a permanent hybrid meeting format because we have a lot of members that cannot make a lunch meeting, especially here at the Outer Banks, where the last 3 months have just been hell with our busiest tourist season on record. And we have people that have been not been in a meeting 3 months, not because of COVID, because of their work schedule. Having our highest tourist season ever and having not able to get our 1,400 J1 students from overseas to help with the jobs, it's been really tough. We had one restaurant owner make it today that she has her mother-in-law and her mother-in-law's sister working at her restaurant just so they can get there, and they've cut 2 days off their what would normally be a 7-day-a-week schedule, just to hopefully appease the tourists that are coming. It's amazing how people can work together and how our clubs have to be more flexible than ever, especially if we want to get people that are younger than me, which everybody on here is younger than me, I think. We might have a competition, Steve, and gladly. It's just important that we show that flexibility, and to me, not be restrictive with time frames and things like that restrict people from being in Rotary. So our club is trying to start a companion club just by getting a group of people together in the evening. A group wants to do an evening meeting because they cannot meet anytime during the day. And they just wanted to get together at a bar, no meals included, and keep it on as cheap as possible, quick as possible, but still they want to do Rotary. They have the heart, but they don't have the time of a traditional Rotary club. So if you have anything like that, those things like that as a companion club, it doesn't even have to be officially chartered or anything. You can just have a group of people meeting at an alternative time, and they're still part of your club. We've built structure to support that, but if you're doing it and it's working, continue to do it. We'll find ways to support you.
Yeah, my way of starting a new club may not be the best, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
I have promised to keep this thing to 45 minutes, and we're coming up on that time. Before we end this call, we're going to have these about once a month. I don't want to inundate you. I will send you emails from time to time on what our membership looks like in the district and by club. What else would you like?
Spencer, if you would like for me to, I think we've finally finished the AG's list. So I can send that out to everyone if you would like for me to.
Yeah, that'd be great. I know Clark needs his in Wilson, but yeah, that would be helpful. And if you all want speakers, whatever the case may be, you let me know. What I'm going to do, hopefully that I do this in future, is make it over to Farmville. And Jim Coleman can give a testimony over the next few months about how he's doing growing the club.
Okay,
I can help him do it.
looking forward to it.
I'm going to use it as a guinea pig, Jim.
Okay, well, that'll be one thing that I've found myself over the years becoming responsible for getting all the programs. So I told the members last email I sent them is that we're going back to the old ways. They're all assigned a month, and so you'll be my program, and the rest of them have the rest of you.
You can't do it all. You cannot do it all. And that's really when I took over as club president for Washington Noon. We had, I don't know, about 30, 32 members. They hadn't really grown a whole lot over the years. And I looked around and said, we need some new blood in here. And I think they're from like 30 or 32 to 50 something during my year, which is pretty good. But it was just really just sitting down, getting focused on what to do. So anyway, thank you for your time. Barbara, if I can ask, if you wouldn't mind, do you have the distribution list for all these folks?
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind sending everybody a link to the